All right, Freddie the Fiat. Where do we stand on Freddie? Well, I just got some battery cables made, and I made a little bracket there to bolt to an existing hole, and then I put another bolt in it so it can't pivot. Got our shut off in there, and new battery cable, and a new battery just for Freddie. A big heavy duty battery. And little Freddie will fire right up now. And that is the way we want it. So I'll see if I can do it here without getting run over, but I don't know if I can. Freddie's kind of on a slant. So if I do this, okay, come on. Oh, I shut the battery off. Battery cut off, almost like it's made for that. But I turn the Freddie on, and he fires right up. Okay, so now that we got good battery, I'd like to keep it that way. So that means we're gonna have to tackle Freddie wiring, and this is going to be sadness, I am sure. So let's get started. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man, and this is Freddie the Fiat, the 1450 that we recently traded for. And Freddie's looking pretty spiffy. We've been kind of tinkering on him as we go. Got him cleaned up and shined up, and got him where he'll start now. But now we need to get our charging system working. If you recall in previous videos, that was a wad of sadness. It had wires hooked to it, and it had another wire running right to the battery. And we're gonna make this more better. This little jobby here is not what it's supposed to have. It's actually supposed to have a key switch like the other Fiats, but different. It's a different style looking thing. So as sad as it makes me, I may actually buy another key switch. You saw how much fun we had on that Heritage tractor. But I may buy another key switch and change him back over. I need to do some looking at the wiring diagram for Freddie versus the 1365 to see what sort of setup we got there, because we want to get all our wires to go. It looks to me like all the wires are probably still here. Somebody's just hacked them all off there and taped them up. So I'm hoping that we can resurrect some of that instead of having to start from square one. I don't know though, you know, time will tell. This is going to be a load of sadness, I can tell you. Speaking of sadness, we tried to combine beans a while ago and they were 18% moisture, so that's not going to happen for a little bit yet. Perhaps wait a day, or not a day, but they might even be running by tonight, but we'll see. All right. Now, do you think we can extricate Freddie here? It looks like they did leave us a little bit of room here in the dash. I'm not really sure what this chrome thing is. If this is like the heater, it might behoove us, that's a fancy word, to look in the operator's book. Also, the fact that Freddie has kind of been modified. He's supposed to have a charging light, which he does still, but they also put in a charging gauge, and that just, I don't know, doesn't really fit in there very good. And this is an oil pressure gauge, but it's not in that great a shape. I'm thinking of putting an Oliver style gauge in it. I don't know yet. I'm just trying to get some kind of a idea of what kind of electrical setup we have here. And so far, it ain't good. I think I'm going to have to disconnect my oil pressure gauge so I can get the dash folded back enough that I can actually work on it. I suppose I could take this part off which is a lot of difficultness. But I don't think we're going to get finished today. I think what I'm after here is just to see what you know, it's going to take to do this job. Kind of what I'm thinking. Wonder what kind of thing is down inside of this hole here. Is that just a button you push, maybe? Could we be that lucky? Well, today may not be the day that we get this project finalized at all. But what I'm thinking here, thinking that I got myself into a mess. That's what I got. It'd be nice to know how this works, because this is the same type of thing that's on like the 500. I thought it looked like there was just this button down in there to push, but maybe I'm wrong. That is neither here nor there. Let's see about oil line sadness. I got the wrong thing. This might be a sign that I need to just walk away. I don't know. Okay. Can we get in there to this? Well, we're not having overwhelming success at getting the right size tool for some reason. Would this be the right size? I hope. And we're just not having good luck nowhere, no how. Come on. Now, this ain't cool. It's going to be very difficult to hook this back up. I'm immediately regretting my life choices. Come on, you bubba. Oh man, how are we going to get that out of there? Looks like there's enough play in it to pull it up out of there, but is it just the sheer weight? Doesn't look like the... Trying to figure out what's under the most tension here that's not letting me do this. Well, that was holding it. I don't know why, but... Okay. So, we have our tachometer, which obviously doesn't work anymore. Would be cute if it did, but it doesn't. So we'll have to table that. We've got a light that she no light. And it's looking to me like they don't even have that hooked up anymore. What's going on here? Yeah, somebody's been in here a-hacking and a-stacking. See? That would have been a headlight wire. I would almost venture to bet. Because it goes to our dash light, and then it goes into our harness. Somebody has put this wire. Okay, this wire is one that they spliced in, and it was going to the alternator. So I don't know about that. And then this wire, we're going to be getting a test light very soon, because what we see here is not, I repeat, not what we all need. Oh, Freddie. You are a sad little feller. Let me let you see what I'm seeing. So, I started with this yellow wire. You see it's hooked to that dash light. And then it wasn't hooked to anything on this end. It goes, one of the wires taped up goes into the harness, but then so does one of the wires from that thing there. So I'm not really sure why we have that the way we do. Well, like I said, we're gonna have to get the book. Now, our charging system, they have hooked up like to this, which is what I assume is like the heater. You pull that out and it makes it heat. I'm gonna have to get the book again. But that ain't no good, because if that's hot all the time, then what we have essentially is they ran hot all the time, I guess through the gauge, and then out from the gauge over to, I assume, this wire that was hooked to the alternator. And I'm no so sure about that one. I'm not saying we won't have to do that. But that gauge situation ain't no good. I mean, that's a piece of garbage. This little feller here is supposed to be the charging light, to my knowledge. And right there, it's getting its hot power in. And then right there, it should be getting its power out. And that to me looks like it's black. So if we go over here to what's left of our harness, we're gonna have to extricate here and do some testing and see what we got. Because we're gonna try to use original wires as much as possible, so we don't have all of this garbage wound up in everything. We're gonna have to also go into the fuse box and see what mess that is. Because I'm betting that's why we bypass stuff, because probably they didn't have, you know what I'm saying? I'm betting they didn't have power to all of the stuff they needed, and so they just did their own thing. And they didn't have headlights, so they didn't worry about that. But we do, so we're going to. I am very thankful that somebody, perhaps it was viewer David, taped all these up so that they're still here and they're in decent shape. Because if they weren't, we would have a lot more work to do potentially. We may still have a lot of work to do, I don't know. I'm afraid these are the ones we need, that's why we got a brown, or brownish, and a black, a green, a yellow with a black stripe, some other color, I don't know what, and a green and a gray. I'm betting that these two are the ones we're going to use for alternating. Do they have any marking on them? No. Okay, so if one were to go over to here, one would assume that this is that big one in the harness. And one would also assume... Ooh, there's a red one in there too. Is the red one a splice? Or what? Where's that red one go? Does that red one go? Red one goes to our start button, maybe? Okay. So, we also don't know that we have enough positions on this type of switch as we would on something else. Okay, like what would this wire be? White. Okay, so the black one in my mind that goes through the light is the wire that needs to go to the number 2 on the alternator, the one that would be the signal wire that will make the light work and tell the thing to charge. The hot all the time wire would need to be this big bazooka there. I'm not sure about that light blue wire, what its job is doing. One thing's for sure though, we're gonna have to stop talking about it and finally go get the book and a test light. I think before I do that though, I'm gonna try to get rid of this what am I trying to say? Get rid of this tractor with a fire. No, I'm gonna get rid of this other red wire that they wired in to this gauge, and maybe just pull this gauge out of here and be done with it, because I don't know about all that gauge nonsense. Man, we got stuff all over here. Huh. Will this go down in there? We are going to assume sadness is what we're going to assume. Boy, it'd be nice to not be so big in this example here, because trying to get this out of there ain't working. Alright. I'll put that back for now. I mean, that's essentially a full 12 volts under the dash all the time. Is that safe? Probably not. Oh, this is the candidate for, just a minute, we got a better tool than this. How about the old ratchet that you can turn the end of the handle to tighten it? That would be a good tool to have right now. Here's an example of where it shines, because we can't quite get in there. Okay. All right. Now, if we did this right, we can delete on this gauge, which is burned anyway. I don't know if you can see that. But this old gauge got a little hot at some point, and she burned right off of there. So that ain't no good. Not to mention the fact that it don't even fit in that hole they made in the dash. I don't really know what we were thinking. Somebody cut that hole. I don't think that was a factory thing. And we use the red pliers. Oh, we need to tighten it down a little more. Let's try that. I'm not opposed to using a gauge, but I might do that now just to fill this hole in the dash. But if I do that, I'm going to have to change the orientation of the way stuff is. One thing for sure though, this gauge is junk. So it's leaving. Thought it'd be nice to get it where it at least charged the battery while it was running, but maybe that's wishful thinking. Okay. Well, that's gonna be impossible to get off of there, isn't it? Come on. Come on. Jeez. Let's cooperate. We got work to do. We don't have time for this nonsense. Jeez. Can I get it out of there that way? Maybe I can. Yep. Okay. Junk gauge, delete. Hole in dash. Don't like it, but it's there. Alright. Now, if I look at what we got here. Oh, that actually kind of helps. Not really, but it sounds nice. We can eliminate this wire that somebody added on, because we already got that signal wire that goes through this light, and that should be what we need. But we're going to need to test that light, I guess, to see if we can get it to light, because she ain't doing it as far as I know. And I'm not sure how that comes apart, to be quite perfectly honest. Looks like it might just pull the end off, but I'm gonna have to get us a screwdriver. Alright, well, I got that out by accident, so I see how that's made now. Bulb is no good, so I don't know if a guy has one on hand. Super windy out here, I know that. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this. Now I can't get the bulb out of here. Almost. Almost. Come on, you. Man. Alright, several things have become apparent. Number one, this, as much as I would like to use it, is fragile. I mean, there ain't nothing holding it together anymore except imagination. And so I'm gonna have to table this, I think. And my solution for now, if I can get this to hold together long enough to get out of my way, is I'm going to replace it with this, which is a replacement style 55 series dash warning light that you would have got if you ordered it from Agco. And I think with these washers I can make it fit in that hole just fine. Now, it also became apparent my temperature gauge ain't connected anymore. So I'm thinking of just snapping this off And then I can take this whole panel away from here and clean this piece up and paint it. And then we'll continue on our adventure, because we got a lot more to do, but I really wanted to get it where it would at least charge and we can worry about the rest of the stuff later. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so here's how we're leaving Freddie for right now. I ordered a Fiat style key switch, which, looking at the wiring diagram, should be wired up the same way as the ones on those. So I think we can make that work. And I'm gonna probably see about, for gauges, I'm just gonna get 4-digit Oliver gauges, because I looked around on the internet and I can't find original style gauges like what were on this. So I'm gonna get a water temperature gauge and see about making an adapter to make that work, an oil pressure gauge, and I probably will get a charging gauge just to fill that hole that's in the dash, and we'll make that work. And then we can sort out this wiring accordingly. Yeah, consequently, if you have one of these style things and need to get it off, there's just a thing where you stick, like I stuck a pick down in there and push this plunger loose, and that released the switch. It's just got that button that holds it on. So yeah, that was good practice, because this is what the 500 has on it if I ever need to get that loose. So there we go. I see that we are out there combining, so I'll probably go check out that. So yeah, I'm sure that I'll have more in this video, because I don't think this has been enough. Maybe possibly tackling fuel filter changing, because that needs to be done. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. That helps out the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment. Tell me that you liked it, or tell me that you hated it. Tell me I'm a moron. I really don't care, but anything that you say helps us out too. So thank you again, as always, for watching, and I will see you in the next one.